ठीक है उसको जाना दो।
Dear students, I welcome you all to the first lecture of Maharaja Ganga Singh lecture series organized by the Department of English. Before I begin, let me make two very strong observations. Number one, despite my strong aversion to technology, I have to be a part of the virtual world today because I think that it has become the need of the hour. Secondly, the corona has separated us, but the technology has kept us together. And therefore, there are immense advantages of technology which we should never forget. Dear students, we at the department firmly believe that the purpose of English language teaching in the post-independent India has undergone a transformation. Now, the purpose of English in the post-independence India cannot be to enthuse westernization or the Englishness, but the purpose of English must be to project Indianness. Keeping this perspective in mind, the department has done several things. The department has organized a number of seminars such as Revisiting Ramayana, Rethinking Mahabharata, Eternal Life Values, etc. Not only this, the department has also taken a lead in translating Indian culture, that is Indian literature, so that the people of the world may understand the linguistic and cultural heritage of India, how rich Indian culture was. Now, coming to the topic today, I would start with a very simple topic, that is what is grammar and what is good grammar. And if the time permits, then I would be talking about the bad grammar and its types. Dear students, when we talk about grammar, grammar is usually put aside by saying that grammar is a boring subject, and moreover, one cannot learn language simply by learning grammar. And therefore, we do not put much emphasis either on the teaching or the learning of grammar. But let me tell you, grammar is the central component of a language without which a language cannot work. You may have the sound system, you may have the words, but it is the grammar that bring them together and make a construction meaningful. Now, if I do not have the knowledge of grammar, I will not be able to construct the sentences in a proper way, and therefore, the very purpose of communication will be thwarted because it will not be properly comprehended by the listener. Now, the question arises what grammar is. Now, when we talk about grammar, grammar can be defined as a mechanism. This mechanism can be defined as a set of rules according to which a language works. Now, these sets of rules differ from language to language, and that is also one of the prominent reasons that the languages differ. For example, when we talk about English language, in English, the sentence pattern is SVO. But when we talk about the Hindi language, then the pattern is SOV. For example, if I say, she killed a snake, I follow the pattern SVO. Snake is the subject, killed is the verb, and a snake is the object. लेकिन उसने सांप को मारा. Here we do have the pattern SOV. So this is very clear that languages differ because of grammar also. Now when we talk about this grammar, I would like to illustrate it by giving a metaphorical comparison. If I say that grammar is a bridge which enables you to walk on the platform of language very comfortably. Now the question would be how? I would say it is the bridge that establishes a connection between the sender and the receiver and enable them to share the meaning. If the meaning is not shared, if the comprehension does not take place, then the very purpose of language will be thwarted. Dear students, when we talk about grammar, usually people talk about in terms of good grammar and bad grammar. Although I have my own reservations about these notions, but as the people keep dividing them into two compartments, I would like to speak first about good grammar and then I would say something about the bad grammar and its types. Good grammar is like personal hygiene. If you ignore the personal hygiene, you ignore your health. If you ignore grammar, you run the risk of being underestimated as incompetent or inefficient speaker or sender of the communication. Now when we talk about good grammar is normative in nature. It prescribes the do's and don'ts. Do this, don't do this. These are the things which are kept in mind. As far as English is concerned, English derives the norms from the Greek language. Whatever is considered true in Greek is applied to English also. Now when we talk about good grammar, as I said, it is normative in nature. It prescribes rules. And there are certain grammar books which are considered to be prescriptive in nature. For example, Nelson's grammar. When we talk about the other features of good grammar, then I would say that it puts emphasis on uses rather than use. Now the uses in English say that a sentence must not have a split infinitive. It also says that a sentence must not end with a preposition or a conjunction. But in practice we find this happening. And this is being done not by the second language learners but by the native speakers of English. To say therefore that the application of good grammar is necessary to enable oneself to send a proper message is not true. The message can be sent even when you are not making use of this prescriptive grammar. But then this normative grammar or the good grammar, which is perfect in accordance with the rules, is that it sends a signal of trust. It sends a signal to the people that I do good work and therefore you can believe me. You can trust me, you can buy my services. Now this trust signal will be absent in case you are not making use of good grammar. Therefore, making use of good grammar is a guarantee of trust. You are giving trust or Try to convince someone that you are efficient enough, and if you are entrusted with the responsibility, then nothing will go wrong. After having said so much about good grammar, I would now shift to bad grammar. Now, when we talk about bad grammar is usually the reverse of good grammar. Whatever is true about good grammar may not be true about bad grammar. Bad grammar can be divided into two types. Number one, intentional bad grammar, and number two, ugly grammar. Dear student, before I wind up, I would like to summarize what I have said today. Number one, I have tried to define what grammar is. Grammar is a mechanism. This mechanism can further be defined as a set of rules according to which a language works. Number two, good grammar is like a personal hygiene, and therefore should be used to send a signal to the receiver that you are a competent and efficient speaker. Thank you so much.